Hello and good afternoon, everyone. We have a wonderful interruption to your regularly scheduled video. Today at 7, we have our first ever comedy special, which is called Bust Down with Olivia Brown and Friends. And one of those lovely friends is...
Jacob Shore.
Hi, welcome, Jacob Shore.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So this is just a quick promptu interview, just seeing how you are and getting to know you as a comedian.
Of course.
Okay, one of the first questions that I want to ask you is, what drove you to start performing as a stand-up comedian?
Well, I've been in theater for a while. I've done improv comedy, and I just started recently trying my hand at stand-up. But I think my biggest motivation for pursuing stand-up comedy is making people laugh. I've always loved doing comedy, be it improv or comedic shows or things like that. And I just like making other people happy. So stand-up comedy is a good outlet for that.
How long have you been doing it? Because you kind of said that you've been doing like theater and like improv for a while.
Yeah, so...
If you could put like a time to it.
For stand-up, this'll be my second stand-up ever.
Oh.
My first one was actually this past, I think it was last semester. It was either last semester or... No, it was last semester at an open mic night. So yeah, this is only my second time performing. I've been writing stand-up for a little while, maybe about a year. But yeah, I'm kind of new to the game.
And so since you said you've been like writing some stand-up, have you like performed all of it, or is there some that you're...
No, there's a whole... The first stand-up I wrote I have not performed. And it's all about how messed up the public education system is in America. That one I haven't performed. And the first stand-up I ever did on stage was actually just an impromptu story that I didn't write. So... I actually haven't even performed a stand-up that I've written so far. The only stand-up I did was just improv, if you will.
Wow, pretty interesting. Since you've shown like you're a very creative person, is there any like comedian that drove you to, maybe consider stand-up comedy?
There's so many. It's hard to name all of them. I mean, Robin Williams, of course.
Oof, good one.
John Mulaney is a big one, I would say.
This is the height of luxury.
Adam Sandler, Jerry Seinfeld. Honestly, I just watch all those guys perform, and I would just feel so much better afterwards. And like I said earlier, I want to pay that forward.
What's one of your... Okay, if you were to pick one of the people that you said, what's your favorite joke from that person?
That's a tough one. Probably... there's so many good ones in his newest special, John Mulaney's Kid Gorgeous. I actually got to see that live, which was really great. But my favorite joke in all of that is probably it's got to be it's a toss up between the money clip joke and the when you're in the back of someone who's kidnapped you's car, you punch out the taillight and wave.
Oh, that was a great one.
Those two are my favorite jokes that he does in that special.
Honestly, those are really good ones. I freaking love John Mulaney myself. I think for Seinfeld, the thing that I love is, what's the deal with airline food?
Of course, that's a classic.
Always a classic. How would you define funny, and like how would you put it as a characteristic to yourself?
Interesting. I think there are many layers to being funny. There's, people that are consciously funny, people that are subconsciously funny. There are people that really have to work at it. There are people that are just kind of naturally good at it. And to me, comedy's more of the ability to connect with people in a way that's going to make them feel joy. So it's a deeper kind of connection than just making someone laugh, in my opinion. And I think over the years, I started out as someone who really had to try and get good to be funny, but I feel like now I've kind of just settled into a more relaxed demeanor where sometimes things that I do naturally are just funny to people, whether that be I'm just kind of a silly person or, but yeah.
That's very like philosophical. Yes, words.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Probably have that on t-shirt, just like a really long paragraph, if anything.
Yeah.
I know my style of humor is puns, which not a lot of people like, but
I'm a fan of puns.
Right? It's really good. At least for me, when it comes to doing or like developing my pun, I find something that someone says and then elaborate on it to a certain extent, to the point where it's so cringy that they want to die just a little inside. But I want to hear your process in like developing your script per se.
Well, so far the 2 stand-ups that I've written, I've started with an idea of what I want to talk about and just seeing where my mind takes me. So for this special tonight, I started with the fact that I was born and raised and still am Jewish, and I wanted to kind of give a little insight into what it was like growing up Jewish, as well as I really wanted to talk about my trip to Israel. So it all just kind of tied together, and I just started typing, and I just didn't stop. And the first special I wrote, I knew I wanted to talk about education, and same thing, I just started typing, and I didn't stop. And then when I couldn't type anymore, I'd go back and read it and be like, oh, well, this isn't funny at all, and I'd delete that, and oh, well, this is kind of good, and I'd keep that, edit it maybe. So that's kind of been my process so far.
So for tonight, what time are you going to be performing, or who are you going to be after?
Well, I didn't get a chance to take a look at the set list. I know I thought I was at 7:20, but someone told me that the door will be held for 10 minutes, so I'm really at 7:30. So 7:20 or 7:30 is what I was told. I'm going to be ready to go at 7:20. But yeah. And I just want to say I'm super thankful to KPOET for putting this together, and I'm super thankful to Olivia Brown, of course, for allowing us to open for her on such an amazing night. I'm really excited for her, and I'm really excited just to get the opportunity to open. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jacob.
Yeah, of course.
Excited to hear what you have to offer. Any little teasers or anything you want to maybe say before?
Oh, I don't want to give too much away. Well, trying to think of what a good teaser would be for the actual stand-up. So at the beginning, I talk about how Jews are notorious for being irrationally afraid of things. And I tell a story about how when I was younger, we had this swimming pool in our backyard, and 3 feet from the edge of the water, we had a wall that went up about 6 feet. And we used to climb up to the top of the wall and jump off of it into the pool. And my mother used to scream at us, "You're going to fall and crack your head open." And, that was obviously a really irrational fear because I always jumped feet first. So the worst that would have happened is I would have broken my leg.
Act like you don't need them, right? That's
yeah.
The main point. Well, if you guys want to catch them, please stop on by. It's going to be in Club 80 at 7 all the way up until 9. Free refreshments, free goodies for you guys. So come on by. And thank you so much, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course.